To you watching this video, I know that's not what you want to hear, but it's the reality of the situation. And somebody needs to tell you this stuff. It's not going to be these nerds on ESPN. So I got to do it. And I don't mind doing it. Here we are again. Here we are again. I hope all y'all are staying warm out there. It's pretty cold everywhere, at least from my knowledge. And before I go on a complete rant and tangent, which just between me and you, I can feel coming. I got a lot to say. And let me throw this out there. I don't enjoy, I enjoy making the videos, but not these types of videos. Not the way I planned my off season. I'll just leave it at that. But before we go any further, let me write this down because this is pretty important to me. Winners win, losers lose. Been saying it on the channel for I can't even tell you how long. Very long time. It's very simple logic, and it's not just for college football. It's for life. I'm sure you got a brother, you got a friend, you got somebody you know who every single sport they touch, whether it's ping pong, flipping quarters, anything, water polo, lacrosse, anything y'all do in the backyard, he beats you at because he's a winner. That's all they do. Same thing for losers. You probably got a friend too you know that sucks at video games, sucks at anything and everything he does. Well, he's a loser. And it's not personal, it's just the reality. Same thing in life. Look at Elon Musk, an example I like to use. I don't know too much about Elon Musk outside of the fact every single business he touches turns to gold. Same thing with Alabama. And I'm starting off the video with this because I want to read off this comment too. Let me move this. So last night when I was talking to y'all, here was the top comment on that video. This is from LT. I'll pop it up. Matt, pop it up on the screen for us, buddy. Best editor on the planet. Shout out to LT for saying this. And what happened before Saban came along? Oh, that's right. Bama was trash for like 25 years. You seem to be trying to cope hard right now. Good luck, Matt. And you're right, LT. You're 100% right. But here's what you failed to throw in there. Alabama is in great shape. Saban has left this team in outstanding shape. This is like the billionaire father who passes away and he has a son. And he leaves his son with all the money, all the millions, all the billions to run the company. He's the new CEO. And everybody's like, oh, this guy's not qualified. He's going to run the company into the ground. He doesn't have what it takes. Probably right. And most times that is the case with these big billion-dollar businesses and companies. But guess what? You know how big of a screw-up you got to be to ruin a billion-dollar company? That's the same thing in Alabama. Same situation. Greatest head coach of all time, built this program up from really the bottom to when he came in. And unless DeBoer just F's this up, I'm talking about lays a fat egg and F's it up completely, which, by the way, just between me and you, I don't think it's going to happen. Alabama isn't going nowhere. Look, I get it. To you watching this video, I know that's not what you want to hear. But it's the reality of the situation. And somebody needs to tell you this stuff. It's not going to be these nerds on ESPN. So I got to do it. And I don't mind doing it. All right, look, I don't want to be screaming and stuff. It's late. I need to calm down. Give me a sip of hot chocolate here. And comments like that, don't get me mad. I'm not mad at LT for saying that. I'm just get passionate about talking about Alabama football. Okay, you're entitled to believe what you want, and I can't even be mad, and not mad, but I can't even fault you for thinking Alabama's going to fall off. But it's not going to happen. Y'all don't get it, man. Y'all don't. The days of Alabama going 7-5, 6 and I was about to say 6 and 7, but 6 and 6, 5 and 7. I don't know if those ever come back. Maybe in 30 years. But for the first 10 years after Saban's gone, he has set Alabama up so good, at least for the next 3 to 4 years with all these recruits. And granted, we got a couple guys leaving, which we're going to get to in just a second. But even if 20 guys leave, Alabama still has so much talent. And we're talking about worst case scenario. We're talking about even if Kalen DeBoer sucks and doesn't know what he's doing, Alabama's still going 8-4, 9-3, which isn't going to happen. Kalen DeBoer beat Oregon this year twice in games he wasn't favored in. He beat Texas. Yeah, let's stop. How come nobody's talking about that? Holy crap. How come nobody's talking about that? Nick Saban this year lost to Texas by double digits. And it was at home. And Kellen DeBoer beat that same Texas team. Are we just going to act like that didn't happen? So by going off of that game, which I know you can't do that. It's the butterfly effect here. You can't really do it. But Kellen DeBoer is a better coach than Nick Saban compared to when they played Texas this year. This is more so of, the reason I bring that up, it's more so of me saying, DeBoer's ready to go, okay? He's ready. But let me get to the main point of this video, and I want to make it short and sweet. My head's hurting from all this stuff going on. Yet again, another starter for Alabama just left, Trey Amos. Man, that one stings, man, really stings. I was expecting a lot out of him next year. I stated this earlier. The Isaiah Bond one didn't really hurt me. Amari Knobloch didn't really hurt me. Wide receivers for Bama and tight ends, dime a dozen. We have so many good wide receivers and tight ends. It's not even funny. It's kind of like Ohio State with all their wide receivers. If they have one guy go down, doesn't even matter. Not a huge drop-off. Same thing for Bama. But with defensive backs, Trey Amos, for those of you who don't know, he's a defensive back. He was going to be arguably our best defensive back next year, outside of Caleb Downs, of course. And he's leaving. It doesn't make any sense. Buddy, you were going to start next year. I guess that's not good enough. I guess he wants to go to Georgia. And you got some people trying to say, well, oh, these players, they want to win a championship. So Alabama's just out of the championship race now since we lost Saban? We're just going to be playing for the Birmingham Bowl now? The Music City Bowl? What are we doing? And it's only the outsiders. It's because they have, that's what it is. Bama fatigue. Hold on a minute. I got to bring this up. I didn't want to, but I got to bring it up. Even when Nick Saban, since 2015, I remember that moment, that week, just like it was yesterday. Alabama is hosting Ole Miss in week 3. We lose 43-37. That was the game where Cooper Bateman, he sucked it up, and then we put in Jacob Coker, and that's when we realized, hey, Jacob Coker, he's our guy. We had 5 turnovers in the game. It didn't even kick off, super late kickoff. Kicked off at 8 p.m. Central. Didn't even finish till after 11 o'clock. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we fumbled the opening kickoff. It was Kenyon Drake who fumbled it. I remember almost everything about that game because it was a pivotal point in the Alabama dynasty. We lose that game, and guess what? Next week, we're playing Big Bad Georgia. And all these people are talking about how the dynasty's over. Everybody, it wasn't just a couple analysts. Everybody's like, yep, Saban had a great run. It's over. They're going into Georgia Stadium. We was an underdog. It was the first time Saban was an underdog, I think, in like 5 or 6 years as the Alabama head coach. We're an underdog, and we go into Georgia. It's raining. We got Calvin Ridley and Derrick Henry, and we light them up. Just completely blow them out of the game. And my point in sharing that story is it happened every year after that. Every single time Alabama and Nick Saban lost a game, what was the question they were talking about on ESPN? Oh, is the dynasty over? Every single game. It even happened this year with Texas. Nick Saban doesn't have the edge anymore. He's washed up. And guess what happens? Wins out after the Texas game. They've been questioning if the dynasty is going to fall off well before DeBoer got this job. They've been talking about it falling off since 2016. Now, I'm talking about a bunch of you watching this video too. Y'all just got Bama fatigue. And I get it. You are sick and tired of Alabama dominating the sport. I really sympathize and empathize with y'all. It sucks if you're not a Bama fan. All we do is win. We slip up every now and then, but for the vast majority of the past 15 years, all we've done is win. Goes back to that. It's what we do. And I believe, didn't we lose? Yeah. We lost another guy that was probably going to start next year, Antonio Kite. I believe that's how you say his name. Let me look it up. Yeah, that's who it was. Antonio Kite has officially entered the transfer portal. So, Amos and Kite, that's 2 defensive backs that probably would have been starting next year. Or at least had a good shot of it. And it sucks, okay? I'm not going to act like it doesn't. And I've been telling y'all, hey, to everybody that transfers, I'm wishing them the best of luck. And I only want guys that want to play for Alabama. I do feel that way, but at the same time, I'm not going to act like it doesn't hurt us, because it does. We need, or not need, but we want a lot of these guys to stay. But it seems like every single day that slowly goes by, we got another potential starter that is leaving and they're heading elsewhere. And I don't know what to expect as far as it goes for how many more are going to leave. Anything is on the table at this point. And here's my biggest question. I would love to know the state of that locker room. I know there's a lot of people that talk about the team saying, hey, everything's going good, but they don't really know. Even I don't really know. I want to know what's going on within the players. I want to know if they're feeling pretty good about DeBoer, new defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, what's going to happen there, the entire coaching staff, or some of them are on the fence like, yeah, I kind of like them, but I might look elsewhere to play my college football. It's looking like there's some guys like that. I'm sure there's a good mix of it. You got a lot of guys who are excited, probably got your fair share that are kind of teeter-tottering, and then you got your guys who are just, like Isaiah Bond, they're like, yeah, I'm done, I'm going to go get me a Lamborghini at Texas, which, not faulting them for it. 99% of other people do the same thing, but it's just a weird time to be an Alabama fan, a weird time around that program. Hey, at least the basketball team just won. We're 4-0 in the SEC. And I don't even want to talk about the season just due to the fact it's so far away, but I'm excited, of course. Everybody's excited for the season, but I am more curious than anything else. And somebody commented this on one of the previous videos. Not going to pop it up. I can't even remember what video it was on, but the comment said something like this. Alabama was so dominant the past 15 years because Nick Saban got the top tier talent and he could hoard it because they couldn't leave. But now, moving forward, Alabama isn't going to have that same depth. And I agree 10,000%. And I even believe that's been true for the past 2 to 3 years. There's more parity in college football. Alabama is no longer, yeah, we've had great years the past 2 or 3 years, but we haven't been dominating teams. We played in way more close games. I remember that year we had Tua and we lost to Clemson in the championship, but we just beat the crap out of everybody else. It wasn't even a game. We didn't even have a game all year long, really. It was that bad. And I remember watching the games with my buddies, sitting there talking before the game going, man, I hope this other team's good and I hope they can keep it close, because I was genuinely bored all season long. That's how bad we was beating teams. But now, in the past 4 years, it's been a completely different story. And it's going to be that way for every team. More parity. The bottom line is this is a combination of two things. One, Nick Saban's leaving, duh. And two, you can't hoard talent anymore. We're even seeing it at Georgia. They had a bunch of guys leave as well. Not recently, but I'm talking about when the transfer portal opened, because at the end of the day, these kids want to play football. That's what they want to do. Nobody, or they shouldn't tell you this, nobody's going to tell you, oh yeah, I love sitting on the bench, even if it is at Alabama or Georgia. No, you want to play. Everything that's going on, it sucks. All I can do is wish these guys that leave the best of luck and continue to root for the guys that are staying with us. Let me know your thoughts down below. But